Morning. Happy Wednesday, everybody. I hope everyone's doing well still. Yeah, so in this video, I'm going to talk about the roll of fraction activity that is your math job today. Okay, so for this, all you need is a blank piece of paper. So you can see this white space, that's my paper right now, and a die, okay, or two if you want to be really challenging yourself today. But just one six-sided die. So if you got an old game of Monopoly or any board game, you can grab one from there. If you really don't have one, then you can find an online one. If you just type into Google roll a die, then it's going to roll you a six-sided die and give you a number, so that works too. But I'm sure everyone somewhere in your house you have an old board game that has a die that you're not using. Okay, so your first job when you have your paper is you need to just draw 4 lines, okay? So, and we're going to make them all as even as we can. So if you got your ruler, grab them. So there's one. Oop, I'm not redo that one. Tried to get a little too quick. Oop, and there's 2. And there's 3. And then one more. Okay, because we're going to do this 4 times practicing fractions on a number line again. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your die and you're going to roll it. And based on what number you get, that's how many times you're going to divide your number line. Okay, so you're going to make a fraction based on whatever we roll here. Okay, so I'm going to roll here. And I got a 4, perfect, okay? So if I rolled a 4, I'm going to split my first line into 4, which means I'm making it into quarters, okay? So we're good at that, okay? So whenever I make quarters, I'm going to split the line first in half, and then I'm going to half those halves, okay? So quarters, so remember over here, we have 1, over here, we have 0 on all of our lines. And so this one right here, I'm going to run out of room, is 1/4. This one is 2/4, or we could write 1/2, so you know that's the same thing. And then the last one, almost at the end there, is 3/4, so more than half. Okay, good. Let's go on to start. So then what you do is you roll 3 more times, each time splitting the line that many ways. So let's see what I get next. Another 4. Okay, the one rule. I'm glad this came up. I said if you roll the same number, you should re-roll. Okay, because we've already shown what quarters are. Keep rolling till you get another one. Wow, this one likes 4s. There we go, 5. Okay, so fifths. Okay, this one's a little bit trickier. We have to divide our lines into fifths. Now we know that when we did thirds, we didn't use our halves, right? Because we can do half when we're talking about 1/2 or quarters or eighths. It's really handy to use halves. But if we're talking about odd numbers, so 5, this one we're going to have to estimate. If you were really smart, let's say this line was 20 centimeters like we did the first time we did number lines, you could divide 20 by 5 and know exactly how long your line segment should be. Okay, so if you used your ruler, good job, you would know that each line segment should be 4 centimeters because 20 divided by 5 is 4. So I'm going to estimate on my line, okay, and this is handy because I have quarters up here and I know 1/5, remember, we talked about the number on the bottom, so 1/5 is going to be a smaller piece than 1/4 because the number on bottom is bigger, which means you're sharing with more people. So I'm going to do my 1/5. It's not a lot smaller, it's definitely smaller there. So it'll be my 1/5, and then I'm going to try to estimate because 2/5 is going to be less than 1/2, so I'm going to put that there. 3/5 is going to be in between here and here, and then 4/5 is more than 3/4. Okay, and I think I'm going to move this one. Looking at it, those don't look even. Okay, just a hair over. Okay, doing my best to be to get as close as I can to what actually it should be. Okay, there. That looks right. So we got 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5, 5/5. Okay, and I can label 1/5. That was a good 2 for this computer drawing. Oh no, and then I just messed up the 5 2/5. I'm gonna do the line first. 3/5. Four. Okay, so now we're going to do this 2 more times. 6. Okay, we're going to do 6. Okay, so just like we did when we went from 1/4 to 1/5, I know that 1/6 is going to be even smaller than 1/5, right? You're sharing with more people. So I'm going to start 1/6 a little bit before 1/5. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Cancel it. Okay. Okay, and now 2/6 is going to be 2/6 the same as 1/3. So we can put that there. 3/6 is the same as 1/2. Remember when I said, so if we had 3/6, I'm going to write that over here to show you. We haven't really done 6 yet. So 3/6, remember when I said when we had 4/8 and we had 2/4, that when the number on top is half as much as the number on bottom, that is the same as 1/2, okay? So it could be 1/2, 1/2 is 2, so that's 1/2. It could be 2/4, 2 is half of 4, so that's 1/2. 3/6, 3 is half of 6, that's 1/2. 4/8 could be 5/10, 6/12, 7/14. You go on forever. 100, 200ths, it's all going to be 1/2 because all the numbers on top are half of whatever numbers on the bottom. Okay, so 3/6 is lined up with my 2/4 up there. 4/6 is going to be between these two, and then finally 5/6 is actually our biggest fraction we've had so far, okay? Because the number, the number is very close to being even on top and bottom. So there's our 6. So we got 1/6, 2/6, 3/6. So as you're doing this, if you are labeling your number lines, that is perfect. That's what I want to see, because these are going to come in handy when we start doing more fraction work, so you can see and compare. Because right now what we can do is I'm actually able to compare, just like we did yesterday when we were talking about which fractions are bigger. I can see very clearly 5/6 is bigger than 4/5, and 4/5 is bigger than 3/4. That's good to know. I can see 2/6 is less than 2/5, or 2/6 is less than 2/4. Okay, so it's really handy to be able to compare these, because if I just wrote 3/5 and 3/6, it might be hard for you to think, okay, which one's actually going to be bigger? But if we have them all in a line like this, we can clearly see that 3/5 is bigger than 3/6. Okay, it's farther along the line. Okay, and we'll do it one more time. This time I'm going to roll 2 dice. So that was your 2 dice. Your challenge today, if you wanted to, was to roll 2 and then add those numbers together, and that's how many times you're going to split it. Okay, so splitting it by a larger chunk, so even more than 6. So let's see what I get. I got 7. Okay, so I got to do sevenths. Okay, that's a tricky one. Okay, so I'm going to start. Actually worked out. Look at this. We got 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so that was lucky because I can use the 6 to place my sevenths, because I know 1/7 is going to be smaller than 1/6. Okay, 2/7 is smaller than 2/6. 3/7, see, we're getting smaller because we're taking smaller steps. So 1, 2, 3, 4/7 is just over 1/2. 4/7, 5/7, and then 6/7. Okay, actually, so we can do those ones. Okay, so 5/7, and then 6/7 is there. Okay, so you can see 5/7 is actually just bigger than 4/6. And 6/7 is bigger than 5/6. Okay, so I can label those 1/7, 2/7, 3/7. So this was your challenge to do the lines, and as you're dividing them by bigger numbers, larger numbers. Oh, that 4 is too big. Speaking of big, as you're dividing them by larger numbers, it's going to get tougher to make them perfectly even. As you can see, my 7s are a little off, but 6/7. Okay, there we go. But when it comes to large numbers, it's okay to estimate as best you can, as long as comparatively they make sense, right? We know that 6/7 is going to be bigger than 5/6. Okay, so you can see there. Okay, and that's the game for today. So do your best to fill in your 4 lines. We're going to do it again tomorrow, and tomorrow I'm going to ask everyone to do at least a couple with 2 dice to challenge yourself to divide by larger numbers. But today, if you just want to do the 1 die, whatever it is, like there, 2, that would have been a really easy one to start with. Okay, so and make sure you do this on something that you're going to keep, because it's going to be good to refer to this later when we keep working on other fractions. Okay, so put it somewhere safe that you're not going to lose it. You can title it, roll a fraction, and then have it ready for tomorrow, and then in the future when we need to keep working on fractions. Okay, so thanks to everyone who posted yesterday your comparing fractions work, and also the story plan. I like seeing all the characters people were designing and everything. Can't wait to read those today. I'm not going to do another literacy video, but feel free to post whatever your rough draft is if you'd like, or you can wait because tomorrow you're going to have to edit and then redo it. So you could wait to post that until it's completely done. Okay, I'll be sharing my story, the one about Miko in the robot suit fighting the rat. I'll be sharing that tomorrow as well. Okay, so that'd be a good time to post all that. So play the roll fraction today. Work on your story. If you want to post, you can post your math. I'm also going to be doing, I'll post my art. Okay, so I said the bonus today was to find a directed draw and do it. So I'm going to do one, and then I'll post that later today. Okay, so you can look for that. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope it goes well. And yeah, miss you all. Bye.